What's up guys, Ryan here. So Apple announced their very first tough multi-sport smartwatch, Apple Watch Ultra, and boy is it huge. And there are some really intriguing features that come not only with the Ultra but also with Series 8. And by the way, Apple fooled a lot of these leakers who said the name is going to be Apple Watch 8 Pro. Not only is it not Pro, but also it's not Apple Watch 8. It's totally a separate line now. So I expect the next line to be called Apple Watch Ultra 2. Anyways, the watch has a new action button, which makes a lot of sense. It's so useful for when you're wearing gloves or diving. And I would have actually really liked to see it on Series 8 as well. And it has a sapphire crystal with flat edges, which increases the durability of the watch. They've also improved the GPS tracking feature, which comes especially useful for more precise urban GPS tracking, and it comes with cellular by default. So there is no non-cellular model with the Ultra. And now there's a siren feature. That's genius. That can actually save lives. But I was wondering, who can hear a siren coming off of a smartwatch? So then I thought, oh yeah, now they've added a second speaker, so that makes sense. But apparently the siren only uses one of the speakers, the smaller one. And one more thing you may have noticed is that there is now this bulky protrusion on the right side of the watch. And that piece alone actually not only adds another layer of protection to the watch in my opinion, but also prevents accidental triggers of the rotating physical control on the side of the watch. Aesthetically, it's perhaps not very pleasing, but as a durable sport watch, it's fine. But I think, unless you're not aware that there are other multi-sport smartwatch manufacturers in the market, it's become almost an obvious thing that both Apple with their Ultra model and Samsung with the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro are trying to get a share of the market from a brand like Garmin. Of course, there are other brands too, but Garmin has the most share of the market when it comes to sport/smartwatches. So there are two questions here. First one, is Garmin losing their share of the market to Apple and Samsung? And I'm asking this question especially as a Garmin user. And the other question is, should you get a Watch Ultra or a Garmin watch? And obviously, there are no straightforward answers for these questions, but I'm sure you've at least once heard of the Apple ecosystem. Well, Garmin also have their own ecosystem. Yes, it's not as extensive as that of Apple's, but I think there are a few factors here in play that prevent Apple and Samsung from becoming the next Garmin. One is that with both Apple Watch Ultra and Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, you're kind of limited to that very ecosystem that both companies have built over the years. But with a Garmin watch, you're free to use either an iPhone or an Android phone, although there are still some limitations when you use an iPhone. But for the most part, everything works just fine with either one of them. The other thing is that Apple only has a Watch Ultra and Samsung has Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. That's it. And through software, they're trying to appeal to different kinds of pro people. But did you know that Garmin even has a smartwatch for professional drivers? That's right. Now, I have no affiliation with Garmin as of now, but the range of professional, I use too many air quotes today, the range of professional smartwatches that Garmin has is insane. Whether you're a diver, golfer, or a pilot, there is some kind of smartwatch specifically designed for you. But the gear itself, the hardware, is not always the only thing that matters. And as I just mentioned, Apple is trying to sell their watch through software and user experience. And that's key here. The user experience is something that Apple always does better, no matter what kind of smartwatch you buy from Garmin and probably other brands too. That seamless, super fluid and smooth experience you get on an Apple Watch, be it Ultra or a regular one, is just non-existent. Of course, there's a price for that kind of experience, and it usually shows itself when you compare the battery life of, say, Garmin Epix 2 with that of Apple Watch Ultras. You would think with that kind of huge watch, talking about Apple Watch Ultra, you'd get at least 10 days of battery life, but no more than a few days. And if you use the GPS even moderately, nothing too serious, I'd be surprised if it even lasted 2 days. We should see. And this battery life at first may not seem very important to a lot of potential buyers, but it's actually a very big deal. In fact, I've heard many times from some of you, my viewers, who've told me that you're tired of having to constantly charge your Apple Watch or Galaxy Watch, and even tired of thinking about it and having to plan for it. And that's a real thing. It's a form of anxiety that usually EV owners have, especially a few years ago. In fact, when the Galaxy Watch 5 came out, I reviewed that watch, and I think I also mentioned in the video that I have this charge anxiety now. And despite being a great watch with so many features, as you can see, it's not on my wrist. In terms of the accuracy of the sensors, fortunately both Apple Watch and most Garmin watches have really good sensors like the heart rate sensor, etc. And going back to the ecosystem one more time, when it comes to the software, you have much more options in terms of having interesting apps on your watch. But unfortunately, third-party apps for Garmin watches are not available as extensively. But in terms of the hardware, I think staying with Garmin's ecosystem as a pro pays off. For example, you can wear a chest strap and at the same time a watch from Garmin, and in the settings of the watch, turn on an option called Physio True Up to sync up all your physiological data from those two devices. Anyways, short tech talk, hope you liked it. Thanks for watching, catch you guys later.